we have a double feature. You can thank Tyler, Josh, and AT&T. I love hearing these guys in like official live performances. Tyler has this extra whimsical playfulness about him with his voice, and a lot of that is how he feeds off of the audience. And of course, what Josh and him do live is just, it's incredible. I like hearing how he adapts some of the amazing things he does on his studio vocals for the live setting in light of everything else that's going on, playing these long shows, all those things. So I'm sure we're going to get some of that. I get that every time I do one of these live analysis of 21 Pilots. So we're going to start with Drag Path, and then I'll move into Tally.
When I see the devil's eyes, I look away and smile wide. You found me, 'cause then I'll know you're also there. 'Cause proof is in the adversary. You found me.
Man, I mean, part of it's the effects and the massive stadium, but there's some really cool things that are brought out in Tyler's live vocals. You hear in the studio, but I just want to point this out. It's subtle, but it's one of the reasons we appreciate Tyler's vocal delivery and his overall sound so much, even when he's just singing a few notes. And it's something that anybody can do with their voice. You can coax it into your voice. He does it naturally, and I'm sure over all these years, he now does it intentionally as well.
When I see the devil's eyes, I look away and smile wide.
He did it on those two lines. Listen one more time.
When I see the devil's eyes, I look away and smile wide.
Even just take the words smile wide. And he does it on look too.
I look.
Look. Hear the ping? Hear the extra hit right in the center of your forehead? It's not a look away. A look. There's a bite, but there's not always the bite. Listen again.
When I see the devil's eyes.
Devil's eyes. I'm exaggerating it. Devil's eyes. Eyes is so soft and covered and maybe a little bit swallowed. Same with some of these other words. There's this rocking of brightness, ping, almost a brashness that is always sort of cradled in a softness. And it's a really dynamic thing, even when he's singing reserved. There's a warmth, there's a coming home about hearing his voice because of this technique. People who love the voice say, ping is king. He's doing that. But if you're always pinging, you're just a resounding ping. That's annoying. He uses it to taste, and he rocks back and forth. He cradles you. He slaps you a little bit, even in these calm moments.
When I see the devil's eyes, I look away.
Look away. Look away. Not look away. Also not look away. You hear it. Let's listen for this. I won't stop it for a little bit. I want you to see if you can pick out more yourself.
When I see the devil's eyes, I look away and smile wide. found me.
Sorry. You found. Again, I'm really exaggerating it. Okay.
I while you found me. 'Cause then I'll know you're also there. 'Cause proof is in the adversary.
Out.
You found me. A dry path etched in the surface as evidence. I left there on purpose, a sad laying on the surface.
That was a beautiful, beautiful example because there's no, there's some note change, but they're all very close in note relation.
Laying on the surface.
Laying on the surface. He's bringing that ping in and out.
Sad, laying on the surface. Can you find me?
Also notice how, on surface, how he delayed the sibilance of surface. Subtle, just beautifully crafty and artistic over such a simple melody. These are the things that, his screams get a lot of attention and, some of the up parts. But it's these kinds of moments and the kinds of subtleties that he has in his vocal delivery that it's why he is one of the greatest, most enduring voices in rock, rap, hip hop. He's incredible. So I said at the beginning that this stuff isn't hard. Like anybody can adopt these kinds of approaches and use them in their own voices and get crazy awesome things out of their voice, crazy awesome sounds that you didn't know you had. But it takes knowing how to approach your voice in specific ways. If you'd like help doing that, I can help you. Click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free singing course.
Sad, laying on the surface. Can you find me when I see the devil's eyes? A current travels down my spine. You found me.
All that was more swallowed. You didn't have that ping.
A dry path etched in the surface as evidence. Left there on purpose, a sad laying on the surface.
Can I just say, the energy that Josh brings to such simple progressions, the build, the dynamics, what an incredible blend of energies.
Laying on the surface. Can you find me? I dug my heels into the ground.
I just noticed it. They have the video playing in the background. That's so great.
As evidence for you to unravel the dry path etched in the surface. Can you find me?
Okay. Yep. I love it when he gets up in live performances. That bass tone's very drum show. Hear the audience join in back there. Okay, I want to hear that ramp up again. Okay, we have to go back and talk about just a few things here. He's doing the same thing I talked about earlier, just as subtly, but it takes on a different sort of role when he jumps up into his upper chest, lower mix voice range. Hear how he brought in that can you? I really exaggerated that, but you heard me going from here. It's more of like a gosh, goofy sort of to a pinging to a all-out belt. Hits you versus it's like here, and he brings it here, brings it forward and up. This is, I'm telling you, dynamically placing your voice even over one note. This is what the greats do that the not so greats don't do. He does this throughout this passage. Track. That's like, that ping, like to the max. Again, to really exaggerate the placement shift. It's not that strained, but we've got in one word, 2 different syllables. Sad. Me, super, yeah, ping. That was much more heavy. Also, notice in key sections, he's utilizing the H's or even adding subtle H's to sigh into these phrases, creating a perpetual lightness, even in the midst of him bringing in more and more weight, allowing him to be very free and floaty and intense at the same time. And that embodies Tyler's vocal delivery most of the time. Light, floaty, and intense. It's not just about voice type. It's about approach. That was a cool like onset, the opposite of the H stuff I was talking about. Yeah! Just another example of masterful live performing. How he leaned into the he slanted me. You find me! You heard a little bit of a breakup on his voice, and then the next line, you find me. Less Hawaiian slide music, but yeah. Like, ugh. Yeah. Because as a performer, Tyler has so much range, not just note range, but dynamic range, right? Like he can go off and do these crazy, awesome, drum show screams or the line, those kinds of things. We embrace those, but then these tender moments, he has gotten himself as a performer in a place with his audience that people embrace the quiet and the loud because you never know. And because it's so beautiful and restrained all the time. It's not some guy going out there and being like, look how much I can scream, or look how high my voice is. It's so tailored to the emotion, the message, and the overall vibe of the performance and song. Okay, let's take a listen to Tally. Phenomenal energy. I really hope I get to see them actually live someday. May I just say, I'm super excited to hear how he deals with that super high lift that he does at the end of the bridge. I'm curious. I mean, I know he can do it. It's always so different live.
I lost my rank and title. I turned my back on it. Sold it all at a discount. I wanted to progress things. I wanted my soul set free. Lost it all at a discount.
See, he's even doing it's like a silly accent. He's so loose and detached from goodness, and that's part of what makes his performances so good and endearing.
Back on it. Sold it all at a discount. I wanted to progress things. I wanted my soul set free. Lost it all at a discount.
All in a discount.
You and I both know just how the story goes. We've seen it several times. It's kind of hard to know, is there a point at all? Or should we cut the line?
Oh, that was cool. Should we cut the line? Line! He's sort of speaking it. Great vocalists, especially great live performing vocalists, have this ability to randomly sort of throw or thwart goodness. I've talked about this in other videos, but he's not really concerned about hitting notes. He's really more concerned, he's not even really concerned. He is so free that he can talk in silly accents and throw his voice to non-sung areas. It's not a mistake, but it absolutely is this like punch in the face to, make sure that I go out there and I hit all those notes that I hit in the studio. His disposition is that of freedom and playfulness. I keep using those words, but it's so important. If you're a vocalist and you're performing, take cues.
No, is there a point at all? Or should we cut the line? Come on!
So, and I also think it's cool, I've seen this on other live ones too, where they're piping his actual studio vocals in for a moment and letting the audience sing along with that. I think this is just genius in the way that they do it, because a lot of artists, if they were to use backing tracks with the lead singer singing, they would get a lot of heat for that, right? Like, what? They're using backing. It's not live. I paid for a live show. But he backs up from the mic. He's not pretending that he's singing while the backing track comes in. That's the distinction. There's honesty, there's transparency. It's very obvious what's going on. It's part of the performance. It doesn't take away from the performance.
You believe in me somehow.
Also, giving the audience a chance to interact like this is helping him sort of regain some vocal stamina, right? For later in the song, for the other songs that they're playing. And again, great vocalists know how to do this and not make it look like they are trying to save their voice, right? It's part of the act. It's part of the experience. Get the audience involved, and, I get a little bit of a vocal break, too.
Still now, you believe in me somehow.
grooves extra hard. Ugh.
I like in a fight too. Lightning strikes right on cue. Like right when a storm hits, I say rises, circumstantial proof. You should go your way, I should try mine. Even though we both know we should just cut the line. Sing it!
Some nice touches there. Just divergences and slight pocket groove things and what he's doing with the lyrics. And it's just, I love it. Love it. Perfect balance between familiar, like that's what I came to hear because I'm familiar with the album, but different enough to where you're like, that's why I'm here. To hear those the live energy divergences. Oh yeah! I like how those notes, they're not notes. He's just shouting, but they happen to be in key. Again, a part of that freedom.
Lightning strikes right on cue. Like right when a storm hits, I say rises, circumstantial proof. You should go your way, I should try mine. Even though we both know we should just cut the line. Sing it!
Some cool things he's doing with his voice right there from a grit perspective.
Like right when a storm hits, I say rises, circumstantial proof. You should go your way, I should try mine. Even though we both know we...
Did you notice he chirped? Even though we... Listen for this again, and then he goes in, he almost like gutturals out a little.
You should go your way, I should try mine. Even though we both know we...
Even though we both know. I'm really exaggerating it, but it is just sort of like he's added some, it's sort of an exasperated sigh. And he's kept the lyrics going through that. Even though we don't know. And there's a lot of incidental things happening, but when you take that posture, great. That's kind of what this is. But it really works musically. And this is part of what helps him get into his screams.
You should go your way, I should try mine. Even though we both know we should just cut the line.
Just cut the line! This isn't just cut the line! It's even though we both know we should just cut the line! There's a balance between exasperated, vulnerable, and brilliant. And it's playful experimentation, not fully deliberate. But there is some deliberateness to it that came about by playful exploration.
I should try mine, even though we both know we should just cut the line. Sing it! Still now, you believe in me somehow. When I replay it, I see your heart break. Still now, you believe in...
Yeah, we've all been to those concerts where the vocalist, puts the mic out for the audience to sing at all those parts where you actually really want to be hearing the vocalist sing the song because that's what you came to hear, but they're doing this so much. I really respect his balance and his intentionality with giving parts to the audience in a way that doesn't look like a cop-out or a phoning it in. It really is like, sing it, hey, everybody, your turn. I love that. And I can't say for certain because I'm not there yet, but I'll bet that he does not pass it over to the audience to do the big lift that he does. Later, I bet he's not doing, he does that himself in his own way in this context because that's people want to hear that.
Still now, you believe in me somehow.
Here we go! Yeah, somehow.
It's so sad that you're leaving.
Oh, that's
It
interesting.
takes time to believe it.
What?
But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in life after love?
This is brilliant. Oh my goodness, this is brilliant.
Oh, do
Okay, first of all, his tone is absolutely beautiful. Second of all, he is ratcheted down with autotune on purpose, right? That's part of the Cher charm with this song. Yes? So what he's been able to do here is set himself up like he's using live autotune, and it's part of the act. It's not a crutch. However, he's using live autotune, and he has full buy-in from his entire audience because he's done it this way. It's not some guy in the back sneakily putting it on for the most challenging part of the song that's coming up. It's strategic. It's free. I wonder if he'll use it. If I imagine that he would use it in the auto-tune and stuff like that as part of that huge lift, which there probably is some degree of tuning on the studio recording, but it's not this ratcheted down. He is taking us into a different experience live, and he's doing it in, again, just like with the singing and the backing tracks and stuff, where he's gotten acceptance from the audience because of the way he's going about using these tools. Autotune is not bad, and he's showing that. He's showing that you can have tens of thousands of people watching and going, oh, what a great voice, and oh, he's using autotune, I don't care. But then you get another guy who uses autotune for even a minute live, and you go, oh, he shouldn't be using autotune live. It's amazing the way that they have framed things and the way that they perform and get. They build trust with their audience, so when stuff like this happens, it's a creative choice. We know he can sing the note, but it also takes the pressure off him to sing that as good as the studio, because he's created this whimsical, entertaining thing. Just brilliant as a performer, as a vocalist, as a songwriter, as a fan of music. He really, he reached for that. It's cool, but he's playing to that. Oh. Comes back a little lighter. Vocal budgeting for the part that's coming up. Yeah, they left the auto-tune on, the obvious tuning. Just figured you were keeping track of every time. Notice his tone, his beautiful tone, and all the placement rocking and ping and coveredness. All of that is still very, very present here. We haven't used the effect enough to completely distill all that out and sanitize the voice. I let you down and breach your trust. I let you down. Just figured you were keeping track. Okay, we got to hear this again. There's so many things he's doing. Again, he's a brilliant performer, not just a good vocalist, a brilliant performer, because he's doing less, but you hear more. I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay, track! He's very, very weighty and belty on that note. And yes, he's still using the tuning, which he can lean into as a performance. I don't have to worry about hitting the note. I just have to get in the ballpark. Mentally, he could be thinking this. So it gives him freedom to express beyond just, oh, I got to hit that note, which so many vocalists have that problem. I know I do sometimes. Just figure you were keeping track. Okay, he allows the notchiness of the pitch correction to take him up to that note. Well, he's hitting the note, but he lightens up. Track! Ah! No vibrato. He's very light up there, and there's less articulation than there is on the studio from his voice. he's letting the tuning, he's actually playing the tuning, and his voice is kind of an instrument there. And then he does this in the studio version too, but he weights up the end of it. He's allowed to be lighter from an auditory perspective up there on that note, even live, because he's adding the girth and grit afterward and the thickness before. So he's bracketing this light note, and that gives you an overall sense of his intensity. And he didn't have to scream that note. He could actually just float on it. It's just genius performing and vocal budgeting. Time! He can sort of abandon and do whatever he wants down there where it's lower, and it's not this, okay, I gotta hit that note, truck of every time! It's not that, where you're in a competition with yourself. It's a game. Truck of every time! And you sort of see that, right? There's an imprecision to it. But it's beautiful because of that. Beautiful. Brilliant.
You believe in me somehow. When I replay it, I see your heartbreak.
I love that turnaround on the drums. Yep, done that one already. Oh, so fun. And if they keep releasing more of these, I'm going to have to do more videos on them. But I thought it would be fun to do these in one thing because they were released so close together. Be sure to check out my growing playlist of other analysis videos on 21 Pilots. And again, if you would like help playing with your own voice, finding this whimsy and freedom in your own voice, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free singing course. We'll see you for more.